Wrestling fans, are you ready? For the thousands in attendance and the millions watching around the world, let's get ready to rumble!
And now, please welcome at this time your hosts, Graham GSM Matthews and RJ Marceau. You're listening to the next era of wrestling radio. This is WrestleRant Radio.
Boy, did I pick the wrong week to not watch AEW live. There's actual news coming out of the show last night, and I was not able to watch the show live. I still have yet to watch the show. I know some stuff that may have happened, but guess who did watch the show? Mr. Marceau. He actually has some notes. He may have had his finger nearly glued to the fast-forward button, maybe to call him out a little bit here, but he did watch the show, and he's got some thoughts. I'm going to ask him about it here today on Wrestle. You did hear about the other aspect of it, that being, and I put it here in the headline of the video, I was putting together the notes for today's show, and this was not among them, because literally I would not have known about this had I not Googled it right before you got on the line a little while ago, and I saw Fernando sent in a chat asking me about it, and I'm like, is this an update to something I haven't seen yet? Because there have been rumors that Powerhouse Hobbs could be WWE bound. The WWE, was interested in Powerhouse Hobbs, something I actually did not ask you about last week. And not only are they interested, apparently he is he's not done. I don't know if he's still 1/3 of the Trios champions, but we'll be getting into it here in today's show as to whether he is WWE bound or not. This is WrestleRant Radio for January 15th, 2026. I am Graham GSM Matthews. Mr. Marceau is here in his Jey Uso shirt. He's not only got his Jey Uso shirt, but he bought a Jey Uso shirt, Stranger Things edition. When is it expected to arrive, Mr. Marceau?
I think it's in March.
March? Holy shit, that's fucking nuts. I mean, hopefully we get it in the near future, because that would be some great attire for you to have in the next couple of weeks. The Rio shirt is also on the way. He had to jump on that bandwagon as well, so he'll be getting it in the next couple of months to wear here on the show when it comes in very, very soon. But we got a lot to get into here today on the show. New episodes, of course, every single Thursday on WrestleRant.com, on WrestleRantRadio.com, all major podcast platforms. Be sure to check out the show first here on YouTube, though, video version, youtube.com/WrestleRant. Want to shout out the channel members as we get going here. Alexis, Miss Mod Matthews, Dillon, DiGiacomo, Mrs. Renee, Daniel Malcolm at I'm Quarter on X, DJ Swerve1 on Instagram at Swerve1, Mr. Marceau himself at RJ_Marceau on X, John Ritland right here on YouTube, Real Honesty with John Ritland, and Richie as well, Red Planet Wrestling on YouTube, and Average Grunt, last but not least, at gruntwrestling.bluesky.social on Blue Sky. More information on that down below and how to become a WrestleRant All Access Pass channel member. Be sure to like the video, subscribe, and turn on notifications for when we go live here on the show every single Thursday and the occasional Wednesday stream as well. We were live yesterday afternoon with Red Dead Redemption 2 Roger Clark, so check that out when you get a chance, talking all things wrestling and a number of other topics as well. That was on Wednesday, so check that out when you get a chance. And if you are watching live or after the fact, be sure to like the video and all that great stuff. Greatly appreciated. Fernando, I see you there in the chat. I'll be getting there to your comments. Excuse me. I'll be getting to your comments in a little bit, so thanks for tuning in live, as always. But Mr. Marceau, your Rio shirt is on the way. You bought it. You didn't even know it came out, but then I had to let you know, and you're like,
you buried me, and then I didn't even know about it.
You didn't even know about it, and then you got it. You literally, so they put out another wave of shirts, and then you were like, oh yeah, okay, I'll get one. Then you literally got it like right away before they sold out probably again, which is insane.
Yeah, basically, so I didn't know they had a shirt, so I was blindsided.
Yeah.
Then I look on Twitter, and I see a couple messages. I'm like, has to be Graham. I'm like, wondering what it is. And it's like, did you buy all the shirts? I'm like, what the fuck's he talking about? Click on it, it's the link. I'm like, oh my God, I had no idea they had a shirt. So I go on Fanatics, can't find anything. going down to the shop, can't find anything. I'm like, what the fuck? So then I waited probably like 30 minutes or an hour, and then I literally refreshed Twitter, and then it was like Rhea Ripley's like, oh, restocked. Instantly bought.
Yep. It's a good shirt too.
Great shirt. I mean, I went nuts. I was so happy.
It's funny that you bought a shirt for them, but you hate the team so much and call them OP'd. Why are they tag team champions? I saw you tweeting that from your burner.
I think that was you. You're the one that said that you wanted the Kabuki Yours retained.
I did actually. I did say that.
I have the archives and the quote down right here.
That actually is true. But no, it's a great shirt. Can't wait to see you wear it soon. I look forward to that. Also tonight, by the way, is the TNA AMC debut. Totally forgot about that, honestly. I am looking forward to the show. Mike Santana, Frankie Kazarian, TNA World Championship. I'll be asking your thoughts on that in a little bit, as well as some thoughts on Dynamite from last night. Mr. Marceau, second straight week, caught the show.
I can't believe you didn't watch.
I know. I'm a bad person. Didn't do my homework. We will talk about it. I will ask your thoughts on it anyway and what you thought before we get into the Powerhouse Hobbs news, and as well as some people, with one person leaving the company. We got a couple new people joining the company. I don't know if they debuted last night. Would rather not know. I haven't seen the show yet, but I will watch it later, but I'll get your thoughts on that as well.
I didn't see them unless they were in like a backstage.
Okay, so they were probably just backstage. I had seen one thing, not during the show, but that Fightful announced that there was a certain signing or a signing of several people, actually. So it probably didn't happen during the actual show. But then the biggest news to come out of the last week that I was going to get to first, but we'll save for a little bit later on. Drew McIntyre is the new WWE champion, capturing the championship on SmackDown last week from Cody Rhodes in Berlin, Germany, of all places. And how drastically this could change the road to WrestleMania, we will soon see. It may not. It may. We don't know. Time will tell. But before we get to any of that, though, Fernando's got a bunch of, hot shot questions here, speed round questions, asking about Powerhouse Hobbs leaving AEW for WWE. We'll get into that in a little bit. I actually, like I said, did not know about that, Fernando, like the update on it until you said something. I guess there was an update like late last night that I did not say. So that is very interesting. We'll get into that later. But Mr. Marceau, this news broke while I was streaming for Hashtag on Tuesday, and everyone was asking. And I had first said, and everyone else was saying, we got to get Mr. Marceau's thoughts on this. Are you surprised that Tomlin stepped down as Steelers head coach?
No. I mean, I think he was going to get fired anyways, but I think they did like the gentleman, like, oh, I'm going to step down. But
yeah,
got the doors blown off Monday night. Team hasn't won a playoff game in 7 years. It was kind of time. It's actually kind of funny because him and John Harbaugh are the two longest tenured coaches, and they both. Well, Harbaugh got fired, and then
he stepped down. Yeah.
And he stepped down. So it's like they were the two longest tenured coaches, and they both got like fired or stepped down the same year, which is kind of crazy.
Yeah,
but Harbaugh just signed. He's the new coach of the Giants.
Oh, really? Is he actually?
This morning. Yeah.
Jesus, wow. Is that a good thing or a bad? Is like a change of scenery could do him some good, or is he like just past his prime?
I think Giants make sense for him. So it's funny how he just got fired like last week, and here he has a new job.
And he had even asked, who can you see taking the Steelers coaching job? Aside from yourself, of course.
Yeah, besides me, I don't know. I feel like they have they're like in a weird, they're kind of like in a weird position. Like they're good enough to make the playoffs, but not good enough to get over the hump. So like, I don't know if you're going full rebuild. Like, are you going right down to the studs, like full rebuild, or are you kind of just like picking and choosing? I don't know. I feel like they kind of need an offensive coach, but it really depends on I don't think Rodgers is coming back. I think he's done. So
yeah.
I don't know. I think you go with a younger coach, but I mean they've also kind of sometimes gone with more established guys. So I guess we'll wait and see.
I mean, you said that I'm looking ahead here to another question. Rodgers, wasn't he hurt recently? Like you don't think he's coming back from that injury? Is that what you're saying?
I just don't think I don't think anyone's going to sign him. He's going to be 43 next year. He kind of like the wheels are falling off a little bit.
Not even on name value alone?
No.
Big star
like
still.
Russell Wilson's still kicking around. He's like the same. He's just like an old veteran that's like, I guess you could pick him up. I just don't think you're winning anything with him.
Hey, you can put over the new stars.
Here it is. Signing him's like putting a bullet over it's like putting a Band-Aid over a bullet hole.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
Like he's fine, but like he's not the solution. You're just like kind of like masking the problem.
Where's Russell Wilson these days?
He was on the Giants and got benched after like 2 games. And I mean, I guess he's a free agent again. He says he's going to keep playing. I mean, his last 3 stops haven't been great, so I don't know who would want him. But because he was with the Broncos, that failed. Then he went to the Steelers, and that failed. And now he went to the Giants, and that failed. So I don't know. I really don't.
I mean, you can claim that you want to still play, but if no one picks you up, it doesn't matter, right? Like, I could say, I'm going to play for the NFL, but if no one fucking drafts me, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, exactly.
Alexis saying good morning. And she said, good morning, guys. Alexis, what's going on? Thanks for joining. Let's see. Some of these questions, Fernando, we will be getting to a little bit later on, so I will save these for later. Fernando asking, I actually can't answer this question because I didn't see the match yet, but he asked, what grade would you give MJF versus Bandito from last night, from what you saw?
I would say like a solid B. I thought the beginning of the match was like very just, like I said, I felt like watching the match instantly. I haven't seen MJF wrestle in a while, so like his style is so WWE compared to everything else in that show. It just sticks out. Like, what is this guy still doing here? But like, I thought at first it was very slow paced. Bandito hit a couple like decent. He had like the way that it was like a theater, so like the way that the ring was set up, they kind of had like obviously the barricade, and like the people a little bit further back than normal, like right against the barricade. He did hit MJF with like a splash over the barricade, which is pretty cool. He hit him with like all the indie moves, hit him with the fucking Poison Rana, Code Red. MJF won. I don't know if that's a spoiler.
Whoa,
or not,
I was expecting Bandito to win, but I'm just kidding.
No, you weren't.
No, I wasn't.
I thought it was a solid B. I thought it's slow. It was slow at first. The end was they picked it up. They were doing a lot of like just random, like they did like the rolling up and then roll up, and it was like one. I'm like, what are we doing here? Like they were doing like simultaneous like one counts.
Yeah.
Like he'd won, and then he roll over, run. I'm like, come on.
Yeah.
And then I thought at one point MJ was gonna be with a schoolboy, and I would have fucking died laughing, but he didn't, luckily. But I would say solid B. I haven't seen a lot of Bandito. I feel like he's I don't know. I've seen a lot of praise for him. I think he's kind of just like everyone else, but
I love Bandito. I think he's great.
I mean, he put Ricochet in a mask. I think he's pretty much the same thing as Bandito, from what I saw at least. So.
Yeah, Ricochet is also
a good wrestler, but I mean, I've seen like the people like the greatest thing ever.
Okay. Well, I mean, I think the presence he gives off, I think, is also in addition to that. Like, they have a lot of luchadors in WWE as well, but I think the cowboy, like most wanted mask, I think also adds to that. So I think that's
his mask is a little different, like you said.
Yeah, no, he definitely stands out more so than like fucking Dragon Lee, who I love. I think Dragon Lee is great, but I think he stands out more than him. I mean, this isn't a 2026 prediction necessarily. We gave her 2026 predictions a few weeks ago here on the show, all of which we got the receipts. You wrote down, I have written down, so we will hold ourselves to that in less than a year from now. But for MJF, how long do you give it until he's in WWE at this point, you think?
When's his contract up?
So the whole, bidding war of 2024, his contract did expire there originally. I think he re-signed, quite honestly, 4 years ago after that whole pipe bomb thing. That was 4 years ago. So, I mean, I feel like it could be at the end of this year. Maybe.
I just feel like I said, I feel like he doesn't fit, like, I feel like at this point, especially where they've gone, he just doesn't fit there anymore. I just feel like, and that's fine. I just feel like his style is good, but like in the match last night, I feel like he's like, I'm trying to think the right way to, like, he's like waiting for spots, and like, it's not like organic. Like there are times that like clearly he like set up in like a weird position just so he could like set up for like this random spot. And I'm like, you just look like an idiot.
Yeah, no.
Like it's not his style, so like I feel like it's like a kind of like a style clash. He's not like that. Yeah,
no, he's not. I mean, they do that in WWE as well, but like last week, I haven't seen the match from last night yet, but last week he was waiting for Bandito to do his move on him, so he has to be like bending forward on the ropes.
That's what he did, dude.
It was like 10 seconds.
And laid on the rope for like at least 15 seconds. I'm like, dude, come on.
And I'm not talking like,
and he's like,
I know it's unrealistic.
He spots pretty out loud too. I'm like, what are you, John Cena?
I know it's unrealistic when someone is set up for the 619. I understand that, but like it's even more unrealistic to me, like for Bandito's finish, which I think is cool. But when the setup takes so long, like he's standing, but he's crouched down.
He's crouched over on the second row.
Exactly. Like that it looks fucking stupid. It looks like
because
you just bent over.
He runs Then he like does that little like springy thingy majiggy.
Yeah.
And then he like brings them to do the like a suplex. I'm like, dude, come on.
It's too much of a setup, at least for the other person.
Also, I mean, what's his face? Excalibur and Dana Bryan are terrible on commentary, by the way.
You don't like Bryan on commentary?
He doesn't sound like he has any interest. Maybe it's just his voice. He has like the most monotone voice, and it doesn't do it for me.
Interesting. It's not Daniel Bryan from the what was it, Cruiserweight Classic all those years ago?
Yeah, I just feel like he doesn't sound interested.
I mean, Excalibur, I know your noted disdain for him.
Oh my god. He's too fucking geeked up to tell you what every move is before you can even get it out. What the fuck's his finish? Don't say it. Bandana's finish. He said it 1,000 fucking times.
I don't remember.
121 or...
Oh, it's something like that, yeah.
It's a number. He said it like randomly, like 3 or 4. Like, he went for the one something. I'm like, oh my fucking god.
Well, at least he's not still more...
Someone help me on the chat. It's 191, 121. I don't
Yeah,
remember.
no, someone hit it up in the chat. Yeah, no, I mean, it's something like that, and it's also a case of, with Excalibur, he might still be marking out over Butcher and Blade. I mean, he was pretty excited when they showed up all those years ago.
It's still my favorite debut. That or Jade. Jade's probably up. The Jade debut is one of my favorites.
Oh, the debut. I thought you were talking about his reaction. I don't remember his reaction to it, but yeah, you're talking about just the debut itself?
That and the Swerve Keith Lee, what's it? The Mogul affiliate. Mogul,
yeah.
What the fuck was the name of their
No,
group?
you're right. Mogul Affiliates, yeah.
Yep.
It was Mogul Embassy later on, but it started out as Mogul Affiliates.
24plex, that's the move.
24plex, yeah, that's the name of the move. Yep, you're right. Well, now you have it etched in your brain because he said it so many times. There you go.
Dude, he said it like 20. Bruh.
Fernando talking about Drew holding the WWE title. We'll get to that in a little bit. He also asked, RJ, how surprised are you with the Eagles getting sent home for the year?
Bye.
Wasn't that a mild upset when they lost the other day?
They're a bunch of losers. I was so fucking happy.
Who did they lose to again?
They lost the 49ers.
Oh, the 49ers, yeah.
Oh, it was great. It was great. I reveled in their loss. I hate them.
Are the 49ers moving on or no? Or did they end up losing?
Yeah, they won. They're playing what the fuck? They're playing Seattle.
What teams are left?
So in the NFC, it's Seattle and San Francisco, and then the Rams and the Bears, and then the AFC, it's the Broncos and the Bills, and the Patriots and the Texans.
Okay, all right. Well, let's go Bills then. I say let's go Bills. That's my new team. If the Chiefs are out, I'll go Bills.
Wow, you turned on the Chiefs that quick.
Yeah, turn on the... Hey, listen, just because they're... I mean, I still love the Chiefs. Chiefs Kingdom for life, but they're not going to be in the Super Bowl. I can't pick them to win if they haven't advanced, so... They had an off year. It happens. They got to have the story arc of like losing for a while and then bouncing back and then winning the championship. They'll be baby faces again. That's the story. That's the booking. That's the long-term booking plan I have for the Chiefs. That's what I see happening. Alexis changed their name back from Tyreek 2.0. She said Tyreek 2.0 is no more rip. But she also said, RJ, show off the shirt, I want to say. She says, Jay, yeah, that's when he won the Intercontinental Championship. That's not the Stranger Things one, by the way. I told Alexis you got the Stranger Things one. That is a great shirt.
Yep.
But the Stranger Things one
it's not the Stranger Things one. That one's going to come in fucking next year. It's coming with my Y2AJ shirt.
Well, that one should be... Oh, you know what, actually? You may have added me to the updates. You can tell I'm bullshitting just because of how I'm following up on this. But I think you added me to the updates of the email updates of when the shirt's coming in. It's coming in, I think they're going to time the shirt delivery, I think, with the dropping of the 9th episode. That's what it is. Of Stranger Things.
Yeah. I was wondering why it said special event was like March. I'm like, why the fuck's it taking?
Makes sense.
Why I waited for the 9th episode. I forgot about it.
The documentary dropped the other day. No teases for a 9th episode in that, but I think they want you to think it was dropping that day, but it's actually going to drop as its own event in March. They got to keep you waiting. They can't just drop it all at once, clearly. I mean, come on. 9th episode is coming, so that's what happens when you miss Raw Live on Monday. Or SmackDown last week, we were talking. We weren't watching the show live, and you're like, I hope they don't announce a new episode for Monday.
God, these people.
These tinfoil hats are still on. You know what? I heard for a while, it's going to drop during the documentary on Monday, and then I've heard nothing since Monday. The Stranger Things fans went quiet real quick after it didn't drop this week, but I think they're still holding out hope for next year.
Dude, it's just not happening.
just give it up, okay? Just give it up. Listen, TNA is arriving on AMC tonight. TNA is back on actual television. They've been on Access since 2019. They were on Twitch for a while. They were on the fucking Pursuit channel years ago. I couldn't even tell you what channel that was on. Pop TV, Destination America. The one thing all of those channels have in common, I got none of them. Not a single one of those channels have I gotten. I think maybe Destination America. But at most of those channels, I did not get, except for Spike, which it was on over a decade ago. But TNA has probably got the most exposure now that it's had in a very long time. They're headlining the show tonight with Mike Santana and Frankie Kazarian for the TNA World Championship, among other matches as well. They have a pay-per-view coming up on Saturday, their Genesis show. Mr. Marceau, what are your expectations for tonight's TNA Impact? Will you check it out at some point, and are you excited for it by any chance?
It's in the library to be recorded.
Nice.
Probably won't be watching live, but it's in the library to be recorded and watch it. I think it'll be a pretty good show. I mean, I think AJ's on the show. Like, so I feel like they stacked the show. We'll see what happens next time. I mean, they don't really have live shows. They were like taping all this shit, most of it, right?
I think it might be live next week, but yeah, I think they're sticking to the same schedule of like tape live, or tape live, tape.
So
tape,
yeah,
tape.
well, I guess we'll have to wait and see. I think obviously the first show will be pretty good. Like you said, it looks like it's a pretty stat show.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens. I mean, I feel like they've kind of went away from the NXT stuff. We'll see if they continue that. But no, I think being on a bigger platform, it should be good for them.
Yeah, no, we talked about it a couple weeks ago. I think 2026 will be a good year for TNA, and hopefully they can get their year off to a strong start by putting on a strong show here tonight and probably crowning a new TNA World Champion. I think Nick Nemeth from when we were, I forgot the funny thing, I was going to ask you the last time you had watched Impact, totally forgetting that you were at we were at Bound for Glory together back in October. So you were at a TNA show literally months ago. But yeah, at that show, Nick Nemeth, obviously in that stupid ass finish with both him and Kazarian winning the trophy.
It was great.
Awful. I think he's cashing in his trophy tonight, if I'm not mistaken, on the winner of Kazarian and Santana, which would just be dumb. I hope they're not doing that. I don't know if that's confirmed. That would be stupid. Santana getting the belt back only to lose it a minute later again, this time to Ziggler of all people, would just be stupid. So I hope that's not the case. But I am looking forward to the show. So that'll be coming up tonight on AMC, 9 p.m. for those that are interested in checking it out. I will, if you have it in the library, I'll gauge your thoughts on it. Hey, next week there could be a reality, guys, where I ask Mr. Marceau his thoughts. Big stuff.
New year, new me. That's what the people say, right?
New year, new RJ. I love it. Listen, also on that show tonight, what you're not going to be getting was originally advertised was Leon Slater, who's been all over NXT and WWE television the last few months. But he was supposed to be defending the X Division Championship tonight against Rascalz member Myron Reed. Myron Reed became number one contender a few weeks ago. He's like the fourth Rascal member. He spent some time in MLW. I don't know if Cornette would have any familiarity. I don't know if he was there when Cornette was there. I don't think so. But he's the fourth member of the Rascals. That's not Trey Miguel, Zachary Wentz, Wesley, Desmond Xavier, what have you. But yeah, so they were supposed to do that match tonight. Randomly, they stopped advertising it. And I don't really know why, and it was very random. I don't think Myron Reed's under a contract to them. But still, why would you make him number one contender if they don't, have him under a contract? It made no sense. And it became very clear last night why they stopped advertising it. It's because not only are they not doing the match, Myron Reed, along with the rest of the Rascals, are apparently headed to AEW. Now, I don't think they were on the show last night. I had just heard they were backstage and presumably signed their contracts with the company. There's 4 of them. I don't know if all 4 of them are going there or just 3 of them. If it's all 4, regardless of how many of the members it is, I mean, Wesley's got to be included regardless. The guy's great. I think that's a great pickup for AEW, specifically for their tag team division. I still don't know why, and we talked about this in November, why they let go of Wesley. I'm not going to sit here and say he was going to be WWE champion. That would be fucking stupid. The guy's very talented on his own. I think he could have been a helpful addition to their mid-card and either brand. At the very least, though, they could have held out a little bit longer, kept Wesley, and if they didn't have a plan for him on the main roster, just gotten Zachary Wentz from TNA and put them back together as the Rascals on the main roster. They could have put them in the tag team division on Raw or SmackDown. Raw could have certainly used them. But instead, they just let go of Wesley, and now they're all in AEW. So I know you obviously have some familiarity with the group from their time in NXT, a little bit in TNA as well. What are your thoughts in the news that the Rascalz are apparently WWE bound? Or I'm sorry, AEW bound, actually.
AEW bound. You messed that one up there.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's a good get. I feel like they said. I feel like they just kind of like. I feel like they fit in with everyone else they have. I mean, the thing with NXT with Wesley, like they pushed him and then they like put it like he turned heel. Then he was kind of with those two other guys. I can't even think of their names.
One of the guys that we interviewed.
Yeah, one of the guys we interviewed. I can't think of the other guy's name. Like he was with them for like a hot cup of coffee. I feel like they were going to be like a group and he was going to be, and then like 2 seconds later, he was off TV and we haven't seen him since.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously we don't know, like maybe just, who knows? Like it clearly didn't work out. Maybe just like they were pushing him, maybe had a bad attitude. Maybe they just didn't see anything with him. I don't really know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought like they were going to push him and they seemingly were about to, and then they just dropped plans and moved on. So, yeah, I think they fit well there. So I think it's like a good signing. Don't know how far they're going to go. They might be on Collision every week, but I mean, it's better than TNA, right? So.
No, it's better than TNA. Listen, they've also been in TNA for so long. Like I think TNA is a great landing spot for certain people, but they had also spent so many years in TNA, dating back almost a decade. So new scenery, and in TNA, or rather in AEW, it's all about the work right there. They're great wrestlers. I think they'll fit in. They also have the pointless trios championships. I think there's so many titles in both companies that are just so fucking pointless. In NXT, they have the speed titles. Who gives a shit? Who gives a shit about any of these belts? But they have the trios championships in AEW. They could go after those. They can go after the regular tag titles. There's 4 different mid-card belts they can go after. Like, and I'm not even exaggerating. They have the TNT, Continental, International, National, God knows what the fuck else they have for belts in that company. So there's any number of championships they can go for, and I think that's a great landing spot for them. But as some stars come in, some stars are bound to leave. And not that this is anything to do with each other, but I saw this as well. I thought the Rascalz thing was the big news of the night. Apparently it was not. I found out this morning, thank you Fernando for putting in the chat earlier, that Powerhouse Hobbs is apparently on his way out of AEW and headed to WWE. Now, did they do anything from what you saw on Dynamite last night that would indicate he was being written off and leaving the company?
So, like, now that you say it, I kind of like I just like, they were showing like a graphic, and I thought it was from previous. It was like him and, is he teaming with Joe or no?
Yeah, they're in the ops together, yeah.
So, like, I feel like I saw a clip, like, so I thought it was like in the past, but like, they're like, I don't know if he like just, it looked like they were in the ring together. Joe kind of like pulled it. I was a very quick clip that I saw.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was from the past, but I mean, maybe it was from last night. But basically, it was like Joe and him in the ring, or whoever else they're with, and he just kind of like acknowledged them, and then they just moved on. I saw it briefly.
Interesting.
I don't know everything that happened, but yeah.
Okay. Yeah, no, I'll have to watch it myself later on and see what happened. But apparently, I didn't read the full report, but apparently they are either in the process of writing him out, or he is actually like done on AEW television. And I didn't ask you about this a week or so ago. We were talking about all the call-ups last week, and there's still so much going on with that. I kind of forgot to ask you about Powerhouse, but there was a report, I think from Wrestling Observer, that said WWE was interested. Well, no shit, they're interested. I mean, the guy looks like someone they would want on their roster, and for all the right reasons, people fucking bought. And I'm not talking like random people. He had a shirt that said Big Black and Jacked, and you would see this like scrawny white guy in the front row wearing him. Like, okay, that's just fucking weird, but whatever. But good for him for making that merch money. I think Powerhouse is great. Pop Marceau with that one. I think Powerhouse is great. I think he's honestly a great fit for WWE. But when I was asked about this a week or so ago on hashtag, I said I could see why they're interested. I don't see him leaving. He's seemingly likely loyal to AEW. He's been there for so long. They've treated him well. He's got a couple different title reigns under his belt. He's been a part of the ops, a prominent member of that group for the last year. He's always in fucking factions, which pisses me off. But he's at least always on the show. And then I read this report, and it sounds like he's actually leaving. So all that loyalty is kind of gone. If he's on his way out, God knows what Wardlow was thinking when his time comes up. But he's also injured all the time, so. But that's another thing, too. Hobbs has also been injured a fair amount in AEW, so it's important to remember that that's also a factor going into a potential WWE run. But I know you're very familiar with Hobbs. We were high on him from the get-go. He debuted on Dark all those years ago and lost in his first match in under a minute to fucking Orange Cassidy. I mean, let's not forget about that. But we've enjoyed him since the beginning, so I'm curious what your thoughts are that Powerhouse Hobbs is headed to WWE, presumably.
Yeah, no, I think for them it's a perfect signing, especially for NXT, where I assume that's where he'll land to start at least. I mean, you're gonna lose some of your top talent, obviously, with Oba leaving, Javon Evans leaving. You do need some new blood. Obviously, Starks and or Saints and Ethan Page are great, but there really isn't anyone else that's like overly great in NXT. So taking him and at least starting him out in developmental, just kind of obviously tuning him up a little bit, but I think he's a great person that kind of, like I said, replace the guys they just lost.
Yeah.
So, I mean, like you said, maybe there was loyalty, but then he's seeing it like, hey, if I leave and go to NXT right now, I'm going to be one of the top guys.
Yeah.
And he's not one of the top guys in AEW, and like, obviously, hopefully main roster, whatever. But yeah, no, I think it's a great opportunity if he goes there. And NXT is like currently right now for like any male bigger free agent, it's like the breeding ground because they don't have a lot right now.
Yeah, no, he can be in a top spot from the get-go. I mean, they have Ethan Page, Ricky Saints, and the well-run is right beyond that. What'd you say? Oh, Tony D'Angelo, of course. Probably the next NXT champion, which I cannot possibly give two shits about. And I like D'Angelo, but it's been so long, I just don't care. But he would be in a top spot from the get-go. Thank you for Fernando. I will not spoil it here, but he put it in the chat that they are actually crowning new Trios champions because he's 1/3 of the Trios champions right now. They taped Collision last night too, and I guess they did the title change on that show. So he really is gone. I didn't know when his contract was up. His contract might be up. Like it might be a Jade situation where his deal is up like within the next week or so, and then he's WWE bound immediately after. We just don't know. Like you could be on NXT extremely soon.
Yeah, but why would you keep the belt on him if you knew there's a chance he wouldn't resign?
There's a chance. He probably thought he was resigning him, honestly.
And then they called him up and said, hey, Oba's going to the main roster, so Javon Evans, we need you.
Seriously, we need you to replace all the talent we just called up to Raw and SmackDown. No, but listen, he could also rekindle his team or feud or whatever with one Ricky Saints. They were in Team Taz together in AEW.
I heard Taz is coming in too, yeah. So bring him in and
Hook too.
I should reunite the whole group.
Hey, why not, right?
And have Cody go on NXT and beat him again.
Yeah, no, exactly. Have Cody beat all of them. Yeah, no, why not? Just book the group like shit again. I'll just do it over in a different company. It's something fresh, right?
Yep.
What do you think his ceiling is in WWE for Powerhouse?
That's a great question. I feel like if you said a couple years ago, I think I'd say higher. I feel like mid-card. I feel like mid-card's probably the highest I'd say right now. The problem is I guess he is a little bit older than I thought he was.
How old is he?
I think he's in his mid-30s.
Oh, yeah. No, he's definitely not 20, yeah.
Yeah, he's 34. He just turned 30. No, he's going to be 35 in 2 weeks.
Okay.
So, so he's not like a spring chicken at all. But, I mean, like I said, if it was a couple years ago, like before we had like the Obas and all those guys, I think he'd probably be like maybe world champion. But like you said, I would say mid-card. I would say mid-card, honestly.
Yeah, no, I also feel like you got to remember the roster is just so stacked. I mean, so many of these people that we talk about that we think so highly of, and rightfully so, are not going to get above a certain level. Like, I love Ethan Page and Ricky, and I think they're doing great work in NXT. I really do worry for them in the main roster because I don't know how high they're going to go with just the vast amount of talent that we have right now. And that includes, Ray Phoenix. Like, he's for every Penta who's doing well, you have a Ray Phoenix who's not necessarily doing terribly, but there's so much more they could be doing with a superstar that special. But that's just because they have so many people on the show. Like, it's not like, oh, I can't sit here and tell you I can't believe they're pushing this person over that person. I mean, maybe when Solo Sikoa was still being shoved down our throats, I would be like, why the fuck are we getting this Solo push and not Ray Phoenix? But Solo's on the show kind of doing his thing. He's not really taking a spot away from anyone. They're not putting him in the fucking title picture anymore, so it's fine.
Honestly, my new litmus test is just that you think it's bad, just go back to the, let me check my notes. Watched it the other night, the Greatest Royal Rumble 2018. If you want to know how bad the roster was back then, just go watch that show. Holy fucking shit.
I forgot to ask you about that.
It just opened my eyes to how people today say they want Vince back. Like, the roster, besides I think it was the New Day, Randy Orton, and Rey Mysterio, everyone that was in the match isn't even with the company anymore, and it's like legit job. It's like literally job guys. Like, they literally have the Ascension coming out. like Primo and Epico. Like, I'm like, dude, this is fucking terrible.
Okay, so
Dan Matha, by the way.
Dan Matha was in there. NXT Hall of Famer.
Babatunde, the other sumo guy.
Yeah.
The other sumo guy. Mark Henry. Like, Mark Henry got in the Hall of Fame. They're just like, we need a big guy. So bring Mark Henry out.
They had a lot of names in that match. So when we watched that, I had told you got to watch this. This is just, I have not seen it since it happened all those years ago. We joke about it all the time, but I actually haven't watched it. And they're going to be in Saudi, so I'm like, we'll give it a watch. Since Raw wasn't on Monday night, because I already watched it earlier in the day. So we put that on. It felt like it took fucking 3 hours. Oh my God. That Royal Rumble might be, like, for as much as I have shit, and everyone has shit on the 2014 and 2015 Rumble, and they are bad Rumbles. We complained about it at the time on this very show. Genuinely, the worst Rumble of all time might be that greatest Royal Rumble. I mean, I don't even include that in the canon of Royal Rumble.
You're saying it might be, it is. It is.
It has to be.
It is literally, the problem is there's no, it's like, after 1 and 2, I think it's Bryan and Ziggler.
Yes.
The next, like, 30 people are literally job guys or veterans that are over the hill. And then, like, you get Randy Orton, Rey Mysterio, you're like, okay.
At the end, yeah.
More job guys. And then you get Jericho and Braun Strowman at the end.
So what I'm going to do here, now that you reminded me of this match, I'm going to read off the 50 competitors in this match. And it's funny that you mentioned, like, oh yeah, only X, Y, and Z are still employed. Alexis and I literally counted while we were watching because we were determined to find out who from this match is still employed. No one was employed. And also, this match only happened 8 years ago. That's not.
Yeah, that's another thing that I looked at too. Like you said, it wasn't that long ago.
It wasn't that long ago, and there was no one in the match that worked there currently on the active roster until entrant 9. And of 50 people, 9 of them work there currently. Maybe 10 if Jericho comes in soon.
And like you said, some of them technically Titus O'Neil still works there, but he's not wrestling.
Yeah, exactly.
Kevin Owens is in the match. He still technically works there, but he's not wrestling currently. Like,
yeah, well, I put him towards the 9, but yeah, I know what you're saying.
Big E as well. Like, Big E was in there as well.
I didn't put Big E on our 9 because he's not. He's like retired basically, but yeah.
Dude, Apollo Crews. I forgot about Apollo Crews.
He counts because he's still in the roster. He's been injured for over a year, but I think he came back and main event recently. But for those of you that were wondering what this greatest Royal Rumble consisted of, we had Daniel Bryan, Dolph Ziggler. Great start. Okay, makes sense. Nice. And Daniel Bryan went over an hour and 16 minutes, so he had an amazing showing. The only good part of that match, aside from the Titus World slide, which was still fucking funny all these years later, and the fact the commentators are dying just absolutely killed me. It's so funny. But we have those two. And then you get Sin Cara. Okay, solid number 3. Not bad. It's okay. Then you get Curtis Axel. All right. Axelmania, Rumble 2015, never lost. Okay, whatever. Mark Henry, who just went into the Hall of Fame a couple weeks earlier. All right, he's only in there for 3 minutes. Don't really know why he's in there. I think that ended up being the last match he ever had, actually. Mike Kanellis at number 6. Hiroki Sumi, who was their version of Yokozuna, because that's what the Grand Prince of Saudi wanted, and he's been fucking dead for a quarter of a century, so they put in Hiroki Sumi in there, who was in there for 46 seconds. Okay. Victor from the Ascension. Yes, they did. It was the tag team Royal Rumble because they put one half of literally every tag team in this match. Victor, Kofi Kingston, who does work there, mind you, Tony Nese from 205 Live, Dash Wilder, and mind you, up to this point in the match, more of these people currently work for AEW than they do WWE, just to let you know. Dash Wilder, Hornswoggle at 12. Honestly got a bigger pop than anything else in the match up to this point from what I remember. Primo, Xavier Woods, who does work there. Bo Dallas counts because he came back to the company as Uncle Howard, so he counts.
About him.
Kurt Angle was in there for a cup of coffee.
Looked terrible.
Scott Dawson of FTR. Goldust, forgot he was even in this thing. Connor of the Ascension. Elias. Luke Gallows. Rhino, who I like, but come on. Drew Gulak from 205 Live. My pick, Tucker Knight from NXT, who is just barely out starting out in Heavy Machinery at that point, and no one even really knew who he was, and no one gave a shit. Why is he in this match? Bobby Roode, who I would not count as still I mean, he does work there, but he's basically retired, so I don't count him. Fandango, who is retiring from TNA this weekend, actually. Chad Gable works there. Rey Mysterio. Gable was in there. Rey Mysterio. He was actually, the funny thing, I forgot he was in this match. He returned to the company at the Rumble when we were there a few months earlier. But he wasn't back in the company at that point. He was a one-off. This also was a one-off. He didn't come back to the company until fucking October. So they dusted him off again for the fucking Saudi show. And then they didn't re-sign him to a full contract until October, which is insane to me. I totally forgot he was in this match. Mojo fucking Rawley, who came out to literally 90% of these people, the crowd did not give a shit about.
I think that's when like they were like teasing him with like the blue fucking lightning bolt on his face.
I think that was here, right? I think.
Oh,
I don't
yeah,
know.
it was terrible.
Yeah, it was awful. Tyler Breeze. Big E. Okay, good reaction. Carl Anderson. We're only at 32 here, folks, out of 50. Apollo Crews. Roderick's. What'd you say?
From Titus Worldwide.
From Titus Worldwide, of course. Yeah, I forgot about it. He was still in the group at that point. Roderick Strong, which I totally forgot.
Random.
So random. The least relevant member, all due respect to Roderick Strong, even more irrelevant than Bobby Fish at that point. They added him to the match. Cool to see him in the match, but it was very, very random. Randy Orton, of course, still works there. Heath Slater. Baba Tunde. Why? Like, what was the point? You didn't have enough people on your fucking jobber roster to do that? What the fuck? Baron Corbin. Does not work there. Forgot about that. But great theme song, though, at the time. Titus O'Neil, who we mentioned, stole the match with the fucking botch, which was great.
Them keep showing the replay. Corey Graves could not control himself.
Yeah, no. And the best part is, I thought they edited it because you don't see it when it happens originally. The camera's not on him. So I thought they cut it. But I think that's actually how it aired originally, where the camera wasn't on him, like when it aired, when it happened. But I thought that was funny. Dan Matha, Braun Strowman, who won the whole thing, of course. Dan Matha, like, what are we doing here? Backney from NXT. He was in one NXT TV match, never saw again, but he was in this match. He had that claim to fame. Ty Dillinger, who I forgot about. He's in NXT now. So, I mean, you can count him, even though he's not on the main roster.
Yeah.
Kurt Hawkins. Bobby Lashley. This is when we start getting to some of the bigger names. 45, which I think was his age at the time. The Great Khali. Literally got one of the biggest pops in the match, was in it for 31 seconds. What are we doing? Kevin Owens. Shane McMahon, who also looked like shit at this point. I'm like, dude, what are we doing? I know he was making regular in-ring appearances, but what the fuck? Shelton Benjamin, okay. 49, who eliminated Daniel Bryan. Big Cass, who they were pushing at that point. And by the way, he got fired a month after this match. Not even, probably like about a couple of weeks. And then 50 was Chris Jericho. And he was also barely in it before he got dumped. And that actually was Jericho's last match to date. That was his last WWE appearance to date, was the greatest Royal Rumble, a.k.a. known as the worst Royal Rumble of all time. That is an insane stat. What a fucking match. I know I'm off topic here, but that match is worth a watch. Surely, no matter how bad the Rumble is in a couple weeks, it could not be worse than that.
The problem is it's just all job guys pretty much, and it took forever. That's the thing. It's like, you're watching this, and it's like you said, you're at like 30, and you're like, dude, there's still another 20 fucking people.
Yep.
And you knew at that point, like, anyone that was good had already wrestled earlier in the night, and you're like, they're not just going to put good, like, people that are over in this match. It was just brutal.
Absolutely brutal. Yeah. No, they just filled out the match with jobbers, and I mean, I haven't watched the 2011 Rumble in a while, but it's the same thing. It's like, oh, more people, better match. No, it's just a lot of people that you would see on fucking Superstars.
I was there the 2011 one. Alberto Del Rio.
Yeah, in Boston, you were there. Little mini Marceau. Got to go back and watch that one. 15-year anniversary this year, but what a match. What a match. Knew what's going on, brother. Said good morning, Graham and RJ. He also said it looks like WWE got another AEW wrestler in Will Hobbs. Well, AEW got Jake Doyle, a.k.a. Jake something, and now the Rascalz from TNA. Yeah, a lot of moves going on right now, which is great to see. Nathaniel, what's going on, brother? Thanks for joining, talking about the Seahawks there, talking about, did we hope Hulk Hogan's had returned to wrestle? I mean, the guy's dead, so he's not coming back at WrestleMania this year. Did we hope he returned to WrestleMania last year? No, I didn't really say I cared to see that. Do I hope Tony Khan makes trios titles for the women? Absolutely not. And what if Kit Wilson returns to the Royal Rumble and beats Drew? That's not fucking happening, Nathaniel. That doesn't make sense. And Kit Wilson's out for a long time. So, or Kit Wilson's
out for a long time.
Oh no, Kit Wilson's his partner's out.
Elton Prince.
Yeah.
Show some respect.
I'm sorry. Kit Wilson, toxic masculinity, whatever his new gimmick is. He's still around. Still not beating Drew for the WWE title, which is a great segue. Mr. Marceau, we got a new WWE champion. His name is Drew McIntyre. As of SmackDown last week, Drew McIntyre is the new WWE champion, knocking off Cody Rhodes, and what I thought was a great 3 stages of hell match. A lot to dissect here, but I want to get your instant reaction. Were you shocked by the title change, and what were your thoughts on the match itself?
I was shocked by the title change because I just didn't think they were going to take the belt off Cody, obviously, because at this point, I mean, they waited to the fucking, I mean, we say strike when the iron's hot, the iron was like fucking lukewarm at this point.
Yeah.
It was probably honestly like, it wasn't even sizzling. Like, this shit was like basically cold. So finally they did it, which was great. The match I thought was good. I thought the finish was fucking terrible. Hated the finish. Got to do the fucking, I didn't hate that like Fatu came in. I just didn't like that, like, he just attacked Cody and Drew just fell out. Like, why? I guess my thing is, why is he attacking Cody? Like, he had these issues with Drew.
Well, Cody attacked him.
Sense. What?
Cody attacked him. They were both made to look like idiots. That's I agree with that.
Exactly, but that's my thing. It's like, he had issues with Drew, and then him and Cody are fighting, and that just basically let Drew win. And it just felt like, why? That was my biggest issue. So people complaining online, like, oh my God, like, masked man again, like, so lazy. You know what? I like it is something I go to. I would take the masked person over the fucking lights going out 1,000 times. The lights going out is like the most like fixed, dumbest thing ever. Like,
yeah,
someone's physically doing that. At least like someone's coming. Lights going out is the laziest fucking booking. But I just thought, like I said, Cody attacking Jacob was just dumb. They just let Drew win, and then they're like, oh, now Drew's gonna defend against someone totally different. Now, like, why wouldn't Cody get a rematch? He lost in a fucking gimmick match.
Well,
I don't know. I'm glad. So I'm glad Drew won.
Yeah.
I'm glad. I just didn't think the finish was great. Them kind of just like glossing it over unless they're just waiting for Mania, which I don't really want anyways. Drew and Cody at Mania. But like the only other positive, like now that Drew's champion, like we know there's a chance he could always lose it with Cody. You know, like besides Drew, we're like, oh, we're just gonna wait the Mania. Like,
yeah.
I guess this is like the not safe booking or whatever people wanted, but I just felt like it just didn't love the finish.
No, the execution of the finish I thought was, I was actually not a fan of it. Now, we are willing to overlook it because Drew is champion, but I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, it's a great finish just because Drew won. Drew winning was the correct outcome. The way it was done, it made Cody look like a fucking idiot. And Jacob for looking like a fucking idiot. Unless he knows something that we don't, and that Cody was the one who attacked him, and he says that on SmackDown this week, which I don't think he probably will, then that was a dumb finish. Why not just have Drew pin Cody? The guy won't die, like his popularity won't decrease just because Cody got pinned. It's perfectly okay. He should have pinned him. I also hate the escape in the cage finish. Alexis said the same thing when we watched it. I know Jesse the Body Ventura would agree. He was talking about that last year on Saturday Night's Main Event. It's a dumbass finish. But I'm glad Drew is champion. You mentioned to yourself, why would Cody not get a rematch? Well, obviously, I'm glad they're not doing a rematch because we've already seen 3 matches between them dating back to September. I'm done with this feud. The best way to cap it off was 3 stages of hell. How do you go from 3 stages of hell to like a singles match? Like, you can't do that, you know? No, I know you get that. But, I mean, to be fair, from a storyline standpoint, before Cody lost, they said on the show that they were doing like, regardless of who wins here, they're crowning a new #1 contender for the Rumble. So that's why Cody's not getting a rematch. Now, could they give Cody a shot at the title at the Chamber, in the Chamber, or like in a #1 contenders match? Yes, and I'll get to that in a second. But let's talk about the Royal Rumble real quick. There's a lot of different avenues we can go here with this, and I'll try to get through all of them quickly. But with the Royal Rumble, we got 4 qualifiers coming up on Friday. Trick Williams versus Matt Cardona. Trick Williams, we know, is winning that one. We have Randy Orton. What'd you say?
We do?
Yeah, I mean, unless you have The Miz going over on Randy Orton. You have Miz going over on Orton for the upset? Well, I think Orton's probably winning that.
Yep.
Solo and Damian Priest. I would assume Damian's winning.
What? Solo, come on.
Solo's busy with Uncle Howdy right now, so I'll give it to Damian Priest, who had just beaten Aleister Black in that ambulance match. And then the 4th one, which is the most unpredictable one, is Ilya and Sammy. So the 4 people in this match will compete at Saturday Night's Main Event next Saturday in a #1 contenders 4-way. The winner of that match faces Drew for the championship at the Rumble in Saudi. Now, it is worth noting, they're in Montreal for Saturday Night's Main Event, and then Saudi, obviously, for the Rumble. 2 places where Sammy will be beloved. So he's the fan favorite to advance to the Rumble. I like the match, but I don't like the match as Drew winning again. If Drew's just going to beat him again, I want Sammy to be the one to beat him for the belt. I'm not convinced that's going to happen. I think Sammy has a higher chance of winning the Rumble if he's in it than he does of beating Drew if he faces Drew for the belt. So if it's me, this isn't going to happen. I have Ilya beat Sammy again, like he did for the U.S. belt a couple months ago. Ilya wins the 4-way, and we're getting Drew and Ilya for the belt of the Rumble. We know Ilya's not winning, but it's not about that anyway. The match would be awesome, and it's more about the Rumbles on that show regardless. But how do you book that number one contenders tournament?
Yeah, like you said, I guess it really depends on. I feel like all based on what they want to do at Mania. Like I feel like you said, if they want to do if they want to do Drew and Sammy at Mania, like you said, Sammy. I'd rather Sammy lose here. So like I said, I think you can still book it even if Saturday Night Main Event isn't in. It's in Montreal, but I feel like you could do kind of like what they do. I mean, it's like fucking staple of Sammy's character at this point. But like, say they lose Ilya in a great match, he can still come out on that show like. Do like the Raw speech. Like, you know what? I didn't get it done here, but like, I'm going to go to Saudi Arabia and win the Royal Rumble. At least give us like, at least the illusion he could. I think just having him place Drew on that show and losing, it's like, okay. And then he wins the next week in Saudi. Like, why? That would just like be dumb booking. So, like I said, I would rather him win the Rumble and then face Drew at Mania than him face Drew in this tournament and just lose. Because at that point, why would he just then win the Rumble? I feel like it's too quick of a turnaround.
No, I agree. So then who becomes your pick to face Drew at the Rumble if it's not Sami Zayn?
I would just do Drew and Ilya, like you said. I feel like the other, like, you could do Orton, but I don't think you really need to do him. Damian Priest, I feel like, didn't him and Drew just feud recently?
About a year ago, yeah.
Yeah, I would just do Ilya and Drew. I think, like you said, it'd be a good match, and like I don't think it hurts Ilya at all losing to Drew, obviously.
No, and it's honestly something new for him because he hasn't challenged for a world championship on the main roster. So is that going to happen? No. Sami Zayn will probably get the shot. And I love Sami. It's not an anti-Sami thing. It's I would rather have him in the Rumble because he feels like a front runner to win it now. This just gave everything a more unpredictable feel on the road to WrestleMania. Or does it? How drastically does this actually change the road to WrestleMania? Because Uncle Dave Meltzer was saying a week ago, Cody and Roman, actually to go back even before that, Cody and Roman happening at WrestleMania. Cody Roman 3 is the plan. He then runs that back a couple weeks later, says it's not happening, Drew winning the belt, threw that plan out the window. He's back around again this week and says it actually is the plan and they're probably going to get the belt on Roman. Like, I'm thinking, okay, so if it's the plan, which I still thought was a possibility, because guess what, guys? There's still the Elimination Chamber. Cody could get the belt back, not at the Rumble, and he's not going to win the Rumble. I know Nathaniel asked, does Cody win the Rumble? No. Cody should not win the Rumble. That would be terrible. And I like Cody, but he's won twice already in the last 3 years. No. Maybe down the road. But he could get the belt back at the Chamber. He could be in the Chamber. It could be a short run for Drew. Better for Drew to get it than not to get it at all. And then Roman wins the Rumble instead and faces Cody at Mania. I don't love that idea, but I could see it happening. What Dave is proposing, I don't know how Cody gets the shot at Mania, but Roman beats Drew for the belt, which sounds fucking terrible. Because the whole story with those two is that Drew has never beaten Roman. Roman's fucked over Drew. So guess what? We're going to finish that story by having Roman fuck over Drew again and take the title from him after a month and a half. That sounds awful. That sounds terrible. Dave, I don't know what you're smoking. I hope that doesn't happen. I don't think that's going to. That makes also no sense. That makes 0 sense, but they might do it. So how do you see that playing out? Do you think we still get Roman and Cody at Mania, or how do you see this playing out?
I see us getting Roman and Cody, but like, I just feel like it doesn't have to be on the belt doesn't have to be on the line. Like, that's a Mania match, especially with their history. You don't need the belt on the line.
Yeah,
they're 1-1 in their feud. This could be like, the tiebreaker. They both have won against each other. They don't need the belt on the line. I mean, I would do a non-title. Like I said, I don't think it needs the belt on the line, and like I think it's good enough that you can get there. Roman puts Cody over at the end, and Roman goes and makes shitty movies in Hollywood like his cousin, and we move on. But like, I don't think I need the title on the line. It just seems too forced for the title. You can still build it as a big match without it being for the title. So I'm hoping it's not. Like you said, we're probably gonna get it for the title, unfortunately. But I think Roman beating Drew. Like I said, maybe he's in the Elimination Chamber and wins it. Like, so technically he's not beating Drew. He's winning the Elimination Chamber. But I'd rather Roman win the Rumble than what you said, like Cody winning the belt and then them facing for the belt. I just don't. I mean, I don't want that to happen anyways, but I think it's probably gonna happen.
But what is even doing the match accomplish? I mean, we talked about this a couple months ago, but like, even if it's non-title, which I agree, it could be non-title, can we not just have Cody and Roman in the ring with different opponents at Mania that aren't each other? Because there's no story to tell there right now. Unless Cody goes heel, which I don't think happens before Mania. I don't think should happen before Mania. Cody can face Jacob Fatu at Mania. He can face Orton at WrestleMania non-title. I just don't get why it has to be Roman Reigns, who also has unfinished business with the Vision, by the way.
No, I know. I just feel like I said, I guess it really depends on how much longer we're getting Roman.
Yeah.
Maybe they do want, like I said, maybe at the very end they want him to put Cody over one last time, and like I said, go on to Hollywood and make shitty movies with his cousin. But like I said, I don't need to see the match. But like I said, I just feel like they have wrapped so much investment in this feud that like I feel like if that was the case, they do want like a proper send off. I wouldn't do that, but like I said, I think. The fact we still haven't got Randy and Cody to this point is fucking bananas.
As a feud,
like, Randy
to be
Orton's
fair,
no
yeah.
spring chicken either. So like, how much longer has he got? So unless like they're gonna wait to fucking SummerSlam, which I feel like is way too late at this point. But like I said, Cody did lose the belt, so you'd have to get the belt, or unless Randy got the belt, and then no, because I don't want Cody to win the fucking Rumble again. So I don't know. I'd rather just do Cody and Roman non-title, and we just move on and like focus on other people. But I have a gut feeling that's not what's going to happen.
Yeah, no, I feel like there's a pretty decent chance that we get that match in Mania, probably for the championship to make matters worse. But if it's not, in a scenario where it's not, could you see a Drew and a Fatu at WrestleMania? Maybe Fatu wins the Rumble, or Drew and Sammy. There's a lot of possibilities. Femi could get the shot at Mania.
I don't think Drew versus Fatu is a Mania match at this point.
Right.
So like, honestly, I'd rather take Femi versus Drew than Fatu at this point. I like Jacob. I don't know. I just don't feel like that's a Mania match for me specifically. But like if Ober won the Rumble and he faced Drew, I feel like I'd be more down for that.
Okay. Gun to head now, does he even make it to Mania as champion? Does Drew McIntyre at this point? I'm going to say no. I hate to say that.
How deadly are these bullets in this gun? Yeah, I'd probably lean no. I hate saying it. I don't know. I don't see him going through. That Elimination Chamber just scares the fuck out of me.
Yeah.
I just don't think he's coming out of Chicago with the belts, though.
It makes matters more unpredictable. So we'll talk more about it as the road to WrestleMania progresses, but there's a lot of things that have to fall in place. But I'm looking forward to it. And at least they changed the championship at all. Cody beating Drew for a third time just would have been absolutely terrible, and that would have been an awful finish to Friday's SmackDown. So thankfully that did not happen. We do have a new champion. For how long is the question? We will soon see. All right, Mr. Marceau, we're going to get out of here. We'll talk more about Raw next week. Did you enjoy the show on Monday, though? Gunther and AJ was a great match.
Yeah, I thought it was a really good match. The finish, I actually didn't mind it. I know a lot of people hated it. I thought it was perfect. Like, he technically tapped out. Ref didn't see it. Gunther wins. We move on. Team title match. I thought they'd just do Kabuki Warriors. We blow it off in Montreal. Because I just feel like, unless they're really going for the split of the Judgment Day, because I don't see Rhea and Io losing to them at Saturday night's main event. Yeah. So unless we're getting there, I don't really know why we're doing that. Like I said, unless they're really going for the split, which I feel like you could do. They lose again. They lose someone. Like I said, either Liv. I think they should lose Liv, or Roxanne wins the IC title at Elimination Chamber, because I feel like they're going to put Becky in the chamber because she's a bitch and Adam Pearce hates her, so he's gonna put her in it. She'll lose to one of them. One of them will win the belt, and then we'll get that rematch or that match at Mania. Is my feeling. And then we can do AJ and Becky, no title. Don't need the title, people. We don't need the title on the line. We don't need it. Just like Cody and Roman. We don't need this fucking shiny thing on the line.
Yeah.
God forbid you have non-title matches. I know people said, like, without Seth, you can't, like, no. AJ and Becky, there's a few that have been built for like 8 months. But at this point, no title, blow it off at Mania, or at least Becky can finally win. But, yeah, I mean, we still don't know, like, is Stephanie hurt? Is she not? Raquel beat her up again. Weird. Punk and Finn will be fun on Raw.
Yeah.
I don't think Finn's winning, but good for him. What else happened? I think we're getting, like, the Usos versus, like, Alpha Academy. Sure, I guess.
Yeah, whatever.
They're probably going to 1D them right to the first quarter budget cuts, but that's what we're getting. And then we're getting Maxine and Becky again.
Yeah, we got to stop.
Why? She just beat her. I understand she cheated, but we're getting it again. They faced 5 times already.
Yeah.
So hopefully Becky wins and we move on. But no, I thought Raw itself was good. I love the Europe start times. They need to start doing them more. Send them half the year go to Europe. I love the 2 o'clock fucking start time. Perfect. Even watching it during the day is just way better than staying up all night. So
and you can still watch Monday Night Football too.
There you go. See, big approval from me.
Yeah. Hey, guess what? Permanent. If it's up to Mr. Marceau, permanent residence in Dusseldorf for Raw going forward.
I agree.
At least for half the year. We'll talk more about Raw next week, folks. Thank you so much for tuning in, as always. New episodes of WrestleRant Radio every single Thursday at WrestleRant.com, WrestleRantRadio.com, all major podcast platforms. Shout out once again to the channel members: Alexis, Miss Mod Matthews, Dillon, DiGiacomo, Mrs. Renee, Daniel, Malcolm at Quarter on X, DJ Swerve1 at Swerve1 on IG, Mr. Marceau himself at RJ_Marceau on X, John Ritlin, Real Honesty with John Ritlin here on YouTube, Richie, same thing, Red Planet Wrestling on YouTube, and Average Grunt at GruntWrestling.BlueSky.social on Blue Sky. More information down below. Be sure to like the video, subscribe. All that support's greatly appreciated. Turn on notifications as well for notifications for when we're live, typically here on Thursdays for WrestleRant Radio. What we're talking next week, we will soon see. Definitely Saturday Night Main Event predictions. That's coming up Saturday, and the Rumble's not far behind. So catch up on your Rumbles, Mr. Marceau, and maybe we'll review another Rumble next week here on the show, and hopefully it's not the fucking worst one of all time.
We'll do 2011. Watch the 2011. We'll just talk about the next shittiest one.
Yeah, that's not the next. I don't know if that's the next shittiest one. The 2011 one I think is better than 2014 or 2015.
Which one's worse, 2014 or 2015?
That is a great question. I'm going to say 2015 was worse because 2015, they knew they fucked up the year before and they intentionally made it bad. Some of the surprise entrants were good with DDP and the Boogeyman. I know that's so stupid, but I like that stuff. But Daniel Bryan getting eliminated halfway through was absolutely awful. Would you agree?
So, yeah, it was dumb. We'll watch the 2015 and we'll recap it next week.
And we'll save the 2011 one for the last week of January because we're closing in on the 15-year anniversary of that too.
Yep, there we go. Perfect. Look at that. We got a plan though.
We got a plan now. We'll review that one next week here on the show. All right, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. As always, we'll catch you right back here next week. Until then, for Mr. Marceau and Graham GSM Matthews, we'll catch your ass down the road. Peace.
Join Graham GSM Matthews and RJ Marceau every Thursday as they run down their weekly wrestling rants, offer expert analysis, host exclusive interviews, and more. Subscribe today on all your favorite podcast platforms and never miss an episode of WrestleRant Radio.